So let me drink this water.
We have two range, topical range and
You know,
range.
sometimes, oops, doesn't work. Sometimes we have some changes in alignment of the bones. In the fractures, sometimes you may have a kind of different aspects of the anatomy. You may have some kind of different aspects of the anatomy. That means actually you are not reaching to the normal situation of the bone. Probably the bone going to be a little different in terms of the location or position or something. So that means actually you are always trying to find a kind of alignment, an appropriate alignment. And we repeated it as a goal, as one of the goals of the medical care for the fractures. Alignment, appropriate alignment. And so the alignment might be different, might be actually wrong. I mean, probably the reduction was not complete and there is a kind of inclination, there is a kind of angle. And make a kind of افتادی تو زحمت من فکر کنم همینجاست فکر کنم همینجاست اینجا نه hello, please. This is your friend, Mr. Joseph. Hey, he's Joseph? What was the name of that?
الأول حسين.
You said something. Ali Abu Hussein. Ali Basima.
لا
Joseph is fine. Say hi to the ladies. Okay. When you are talking about the reduction, that means actually it probably it's in front of your screen, right? Is it fine?
هذا
Is it
يمثل.
fine with you? Okay, when we are talking about the reduction, you may have a kind of bad alignment. I mean, instead of reaching, for instance, the anatomical normal situation, probably there is an inclination or there is an angle between two parts of the bone. So that provide a kind of angle, kind of changes in the normal anatomical place. And what is happening? If you have a changes in anatomical, normal anatomical place, you will confront with a kind of limitations. So, if you have a kind of, for instance, bad or mal position for the elbow, so his elbow going back. So I can do it. Yeah, it's better. Right now it's better. You feel better right now. Okay. Okay, in this case, if you have a kind of malalignment here, so and you identify the malalignment through the X-ray, so you are confident that you cannot reach the highest amount of or normal amount of the range of motion. So it's not possible for you to get the full range of motion, not at all, because there is a kind of band. We call it actually. We call it stock. There's a specific name on there, I don't remember. We call it a kind of a stock. There's a kind of band limitation that this new limitation, new actually range, new situation doesn't let you to have the normal range of motion. It provides a kind of stock for you. So the angles like bone angle providing actually a kind of exam for you to see, okay, the normal situation of the area after the fractures are in a appropriate anatomical situation, or there is a problem on there. So you can expect that you will reach the normal situation or not. Shah, how are you? Okay, good. And you were so active this morning, Shah. You were so active.
Because I love practical class.
Really?
Yes.
But for practice, you need knowledge as well. Knowledge, practice,
Practice and encourage.
then courage. Okay. Okay, Mr. Johnson, say hi to Shah. Leave this damn cell phone. Okay, so the Bowman angle you can see through a head of the, that one is a semicolligomastoid.
No.
How many times you heard the semicolligomastoid per day? The head of the radius, okay? The line of the head of the radius, and what is that?
Median.
What is that?
Median line.
It's median line of the humerus. So the line between these two provide an angle, we call it the Bowman angle, and for Bowman angle, Bowman, here. And for Bowman angle or Bowman angle, you must have about 70 to 75 degrees. Over than 75 shows your reduction was not correct, such as here. And if the reduction is not correct, or there is a problem on reduction, what is happening? You cannot be expecting full range of motion. So there is a problem for your plan of treatment. So you are not able to force on the area and get the normal range. It's not possible to do anything with force.
They have rejection, they have abnormal range of motion.
The most important things for you is just try to get the appropriate range. And what is the appropriate range is functional range. Mariam said that. Functional range. Functional and anatomical. Between these two, the functional range is much important. And if you reach the anatomical as well, it's good. If you don't, you must get the functional range, because functional range led you to have functional activity daily living. Okay. If you reach the normal or anatomical range, it's very great. If you don't, so at least try for the functional range. So when you don't have actually the situation, such as the malalignment, so go to reach the functional range as well. If it's possible, it's good. Sometimes it's not possible. So there is a kind of limitation for this patient, because he or she cannot do something. So he or she will be disabled. You know the meaning of disabled? Disabled. What is the meaning of disabled in Arabic? Paralyzed. Paralyzed. Chi? What? Elga. What I just said. Okay, good. This is the actually the angles. We talk about lower end of the humerus, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And the capitulum and the true claw. That means true claw is true claw.
No.
Which one is true claw? That one is true claw. And you told me, I forget it, the items that we wrap the lion on there, in Farsi we call it the that they use for stitching. Okay? I didn't get it. Khiyare.
Suturing.
No. The line, the rope actually you are using for stitching there is in a silent, you can wrap it with. This is actually similar to that one.
Yes, yes.
Backlog, I think, backlog. And it's true claw. It's exactly like that. And where you can find it in Latin words, in Greek, true claw. They call actually backlog. They call it true claw in Latin words. Most of the medical terms are Latin. And that one is capital. You know, there is a very famous monument actually in the hills, in the middle of the Athens. It's Acropolis. There is capital area on there. There is a spot. Okay, we talk about these parts and we talk about the different type of the fracture. A, the most simplest one, which is mostly is out of actually the joint. B is somehow in the middle of the joint with a kind of distance, and both C is inside of the joint with a kind of huge amount of difference or distance or more than 45 degrees of angulation. You do remember, right? Okay. This is a picture, and you did get the decision, you did get the evaluation that it's a kind of lateral conduit, right? Is that?
Yes.
No, correct. It's not correct.
This
This one is lateral because of the head of the humerus. Head of the radius. And this is the medial one. That one is lateral. Okay.
Try medial.
It's clear. There is nothing that led you to make a mistake. It's clear. Very simple. Very simple. Piece of cake. Kind of cinnamon cake, something like that. Okay, so you can see the fracture here, and sometimes the first important item for any kind of the fracture we are looking is immobilization at the first step. So the surgeon tries to provide a kind of immobilization and provide a kind of attachment between the part of the fragment, which is the epicondyle, with the other part of the humerus bone. And so everything is set. You have a kind of schematic shape here, and they are using a kind of nail to provide a kind of fixation for that. And okay, before we continue, we do remember that this nice bone, we do have, it is from, we do have a kind of what? Which type of the joint?
Hinge.
Hinge. There is a hinge joint, and you can easily you can have a kind of problem. You can have a kind of problem for the joint easily with a very simple actually block, because it's exactly like a hinge of the door. So you can provide such a kind of disturbance for the joint. So any kind of force, any kind of malalignment, any kind of bad structure, or any kind of even bad ORIF or something may provide some kind of limitation for the hinge joint. So we must consider that there is nothing here. We must consider about the stock of the joint. If you see that there is such a kind of ORIF wire in the joint, so do not try to move it by force or something like that. Okay, and it's including a joint between the humerus and also the ulna. And And there is another joint here, which is the kind of rotatory jaw, does have a kind of rotatory jaw, and we call it radiolunar. We do have the same here, radiolunar superior, radiolunar inferior. And you know that the radiolunar superior is part of the elbow joint, right? No, wrong. The joint of the elbow is just between the ulna and radius. Ulna and humerus. And the superior radiolunar is beyond of the elbow. It's not part of the elbow. Okay, so when you are starting to work on the elbow, the most important joint you must think or work on there is the joint between the ulna and also humerus. The radiolunar superior is beyond of the elbow. And I did a great job, which I haven't published it yet. Whenever I'm talking about this part, actually, I'm thinking about my research, about the returning function of this area after distal radius fracture, DRF. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to touch it, to publish it, but it was great. Probably sometimes. Anyhow, this is radiolunar superior, and as you can see, there are, including the connection between the radius and ulna, there is a kind of anastomosis there. There is a kind of actually shield there. It provides a kind of connection between these two. And the main actually bones for supination, pronation movement is this joint and this actually area. It's completely regular joint, including everything about about the joint. The synovial membrane, synovial fluid, shield, anything. Okay, any question? No. What's happening if you have a kind of fracture at the lower end of the humerus? We talk about the lower end of the humerus. Which type of the ossification do we have it? Both of them, because we are talking about the end of the humerus, which is a spongy, and also at the same time over that, which is a kind of, what was the name? Compact or cortical.